Hi dear friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm gonna discuss about a finding that I've made about a fountain pen friendly paper, namely from Clairfontaine. It's called Smart Print Paper, so it's dedicated to inkjet printing paper. This is a A4 format, comes in package of 500 sheets, and its weight is 60 grams per square meter, as you can see in here. So I'm gonna compare in this video its performance against a 80 grams per square meter usual no-name supermarket print paper that you can find normally in copy machines. So this was a special order from Amazon that I've had in Europe, in Germany, and I'm quite impressed about the qualities of this paper. And in this video I will give a writing sample and show you its qualities, and I'm gonna first test it against a fountain pen such as Pelikan M800 with a broad nib. And first I'm gonna do a writing sample on a normal copy print paper, and this is Clairfontaine print paper. Now the differences between these is, in terms of color, it's that this appears to be a little bit whiter than the other paper, and of course this is 60 gram per square meter. It's a little bit thinner than the 80 version, and another feature of it is that when you try to wrinkle it, it makes this very interesting crispy sound. So then this other paper is obviously a little bit thicker. You cannot see through this paper, but through the Clairfontaine Smart Print Paper you can kind of see through a little bit. I would say it's not as thin as Tomo River paper, which is probably, which I think it's 40 gram per square meter, so it's a little bit thinner, but still this is the thinnest paper I could ever find, thinnest print paper I could ever find other than Tomo River paper. And luckily its performances for fountain pen are quite remarkable, and I will show you shortly how this fares against a Pelikan M800 with broad nib and against a Zebra G flex nib, which I fitted onto Jinhao 159. So I will first do a writing sample on a normal print paper here. So let's see if I can get this to zoom. Yes, I can. So let's see its performance here. You have then Pelikan M800 with broad nib, and the ink is Iroshizuku Shinkai. Now this is not too bad. As you can see, this is already relatively fountain pen friendly paper, but what I found about this paper here is that if I write on the other side, which seems to be a little bit rougher, if I write on it, then the performance are quite different. So this is a Pelikan M800 broad nib and ink Iroshizuku Shinkai. So take a look of how big difference this brings. So there is some feathering which is very clear and apparent here, as you can see when I wrote Pelikan around K. and the writing seems, I mean the feathering appears everywhere, and then the width of the text of the line appears much broader, and that is because the paper sucks in very fast the ink, and ink spreads quickly. And you can see on these other sides the feathering is not so severe, and the width line appears to be a little bit better. So now let's do the same on Clairfontaine. And Clairfontaine paper is here. It's a little bit more texture to the touch, to the hand, and significantly thinner, so a little bit also whiter, you can see through. So let's do the same. And this is Pelikan M800, broad nib, and the ink is Iro Shizuku Shinkai. Now, as you can see here, the paper shows no feathering, and also the line appears to be much thinner than in the case of the normal print paper. You can see here the difference between no feathering for Clairfontaine, very clean line, and here lots of feathering and lots of ink spread. The line here appears much thicker than the case of Clairfontaine. So the performances now, if you look from the back, there's some see-through of this paper, but there's no bleeding. And next I'm gonna try the flex nib on a normal print paper, the 80 gram per square inch. This is a zebra, so Jinhao. $159, and the ink is also Iro Shizuku. But this time is Kiri Same. Iro Shizuku. And let's see how it looks on the back. And it seems that there's no bleed through, just the fact that the zebra G is very sharp, it creates this. But let's write on this side, which is more problematic. So this is zebra G, which I fitted on a Jin Hao 159, and the ink is Iro Shizuku Kiri Same. All right. It's quite fine, I would say. Not too much feathering, and also very little bleed through, or some bleed through, as you can see here. So next we are gonna try the Clairfontaine paper, which is much thinner, but I'm very curious how this fares. And I will say here, so zebra G, G, nib on a Jin Hao 159, and the ink is Iro Shizuku Shinkai. Again, no feathering for this paper either, but somehow the text, the line appears somehow more beautiful just because the ink doesn't spread so severely on this paper. As you can see, there's significant feathering here, significant feathering, while in this case there's no feathering. Very fountain pen friendly paper, and there's absolutely no bleed through. Of course there's see-through, but no bleed through like in the case of the other paper, as you can see here. So there's some bleed through at some critical points where the nib pressure was larger. So I can only recommend this paper. Its performance for fountain pen are fantastic, and it is also very thin. So it's good for, let's say, either put it into, make it as a notebook or print as a form and then write with the fountain paper. Use with Midori passport, travel, notebook, and so on. So I hope this was useful. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.